Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon from wherever you're joining me from. It's a pleasure for me to be on here on today. My name is Tracy, a designer and entrepreneur here in Trinidad and Tobago. And in this session, I'd share a bit of myself, what I do, my master's thesis, how it came into being, and the creative process behind it. Um, But first, I'd like to share a bit on why I chose to master in design and why LSDM. In 2023, I underwent a personal transformation that inspired me to advance my career in design. For a while, everything seemed to be going well until I encountered a challenging period that left me at a very low point. My business was struggling, and despite the deep desire to expand, I was unsure of how to proceed. But it wasn't until I received a powerful message on Instagram from a motivational speaker, Luke Wamino, that everything began to change. He specifically pointed out that God was calling me to create products that I had been purchasing at the time, a realization that completely blew my mind. Soon after, I enrolled in his mastermind program, which solidified my commitment to further my design in my studies in design. And I began researching and searching for schools who would offer master's program in design. And LSDM was the first to pop up in my Google search engine, and I enrolled. I believe it was the slogan where passion becomes a profession that firstly caught my attention. And here we are today. So, just to go back a bit, I'm the owner of Posh Designs by Tracy, a brand that is now reinventing its identity with plans to innovate at home with a background in handcrafted ceramics. So originally launched, it was Posh. It was named Posh by Tracy, focused on event decor, and I rebranded to Posh Designs by Tracy while studying design at LSDM to create a brand that reflects evolving vision. And here are some samples of previous handcrafted ceramic decor that I've created in the past for clients, for friends, for family, and myself. And in recent times, I've also been expanding my creativity in developing a unique project within the capital city here in Port of Spain, Trinidad, that is creating a welcoming space for travelers or visitors. And this project not allowed me to work alongside a talented interior designer, but it also helped me to showcase some of my handcrafted pieces. And this brings us to my thesis topic today, which is titled Transforming the Dining Experience at Home Through a Set of Innovative Tableware. And the aim of this project is to, or was to produce a set of innovative tableware that is functional for everyday use by combining the traditional production processes here within Trinidad and Tobago with modern design techniques to transform the dining experience for homeowners. Now, one of the most intimate and bonding experiences one can have with someone is by sharing a meal together. Dining experiences, it's more than just the quality of food served. It's about creating meaningful relationships. And studies have shown that persons who eat together, who share dining experiences together, they feel happy. The happier they feel, the more satisfied they are with their lives. And one of the ways to create a memorable dining experience is through tableware. The type of tableware that we use to, or that is used to serve a meal can transform a person's overall dining experience. And it not only functions to serve food, but it helps to set and create that a dining experience, an overall dining experience. It can enhance that dining experience. And each one of us are more than likely familiar with tableware. It's one of those things that we use almost every day in our lives, but it's also one of those things that bridges people and food, and something that we tend to overlook as well. So my thesis topic, it derived from an issue that I had been faced with as a homeowner. There had been a lack of variety in modern tableware products available within the local market, and this had increased the influence for me to import products to achieve the desired outcome for my home decor. Products took roughly 2 weeks to arrive, and sometimes there were delays. And of course, this would lead to an additional cost. Also, if some items were locally available, the cost attached to that particular item would have been high. So I no longer had to play a blind eye to this. I thought it was something that I needed to challenge myself to dig deeper, to understand the problem, and to find a way to help solve it. Um, I soon realized that the problem that I had been faced as a homeowner, this problem, it was a result of a greater problem that was faced locally within our country. And Trinidad and Tobago, it's a small developing country in the Caribbean whose economy is primarily dependent on oil and gas reserves, followed by tourism, which also generates a substantial amount of revenue for the country. But within recent times, there had been a fluctuation in oil and gas prices, and it had raised some concerns, forcing the government of Trinidad and Tobago to look at alternate streams of revenue. An industry which plays a vital role in this is um, the socio-economic and cultural development of Trinidad and Tobago is the creative industry, which forms as a export commodity. It will help the country economic growth as the sales from those locally manufactured products. It can generate foreign exchange by channeling its revenue from tourism back into the economy. This can also create businesses for local creatives, which can enhance the living standards. But however, the creative organizations and the local producers for these types of products, they are mainly sole proprietors, and they fall under the category of small and medium enterprises. These local producers, they have not been able to capitalize on the economic growth opportunities and the potential for the industry to grow. It remains underutilized. So they are faced with various challenges, such as competition from imported products, limited access to raw materials, and high production costs. And most products that we are available locally, they are imported from foreign countries. So the local retail markets seek to import goods from mainly countries like USA and Asian countries. Again, the ability for these international retailers to provide a variety of products at a reasonable cost, it has impacted on diminished business opportunities for local creatives. Um, Mass production and global competitiveness, it have impacted local commercialization, and the problem statement that I like to talk more on today is that the local product design for ceramic tableware, they are outdated, which hinders commercial viability, limiting immersive dining experiences within Trinidad and Tobago. So due to this problem, locals are forced, as like myself, we are forced to import products or purchase from local retail markets who have imported similar products. Some of these products, they tend to lack variety and modernity in design. And within recent times, there had also been an increase in urbanization in Trinidad and Tobago, which drives the demand for interior design and home decor products amongst homeowners. Now, to understand the problem further, a human centered approach was used to empathize with those who were affected by the problem, and, and analyze the local market through primary um, data research methods. Also, I used a combination of qualitative method like interviews was allowed for deeper exploration of opinions and experiences, and a focus group was created with interior designer as well as the local producer, the owner of one of the local producers at the local ceramic production facility. Quantitative methods like surveys were conducted amongst homeowners and interior designers just to get an idea of how the tableware affect their dining experience. And from the survey, the results show that the most common types of tableware that was used were dinner plates. The majority said that they mostly ate on white colored plates. When purchasing tableware, the main feature that they looked for were color, material, and pattern. And most persons, they served various types of cuisine at the dinner table. So for ease of use, a design with multi-purpose use is preferred rather than an item for single use. So a versatile, easy to use set. And most homeowners, they preferred ceramic as the material of choice since it was most affordable. Majority of persons, they prefer designs that were subtle with little or no print, and the minority prefer designs which comprised of gold accents and lots of prints. So overall, persons were seeking tableware products that are different, they are durable, modern, yet affordable for home use. The double diamond process model was the structure that was used to going forward, the project plan that was used to going forward. And this theoretical framework, it involved a collection of secondary data that was sourced from previous studies, research papers, and books. The problem discovered again was that there was a lack of modern design in local ceramic tableware. And to define the problem further, I choose to follow my research by firstly reviewing the existing products created locally by the local ceramic producers, considering consumer perception while understanding the production process and the design techniques that is used. To develop, the next stage included brainstorming ideas to determine what successful ceramic tableware products would look like on the local market and how can this be achieved. And to achieve this, a combination of theories that define what is innovative tableware design as well as reviewing the processes that is used both locally and internationally to achieve good design is considered. Based on research, Zhang 2019, he explored how emotional tableware can enhance persons' dining experience by considering Norman's three levels of emotional design, visceral, behavior, and reflective. The design and visceral level include some physiological characteristics of human beings, so such as vision, touch, hearing, and many products have been developed from the visceral level. Also, the behavioral level, here we look at utility, so we will pay attention to how the product can help users to complete the task effectively. And lastly, reflective level of design is related to the meaning of objects, which can be expressed as the presentation of ideas or cultural identity. Tableware should tell people a story and turn dining experience into an interesting journey. Also based on research that was conducted by Yassine, Haron, Ramlai, and Mazrik, and I will talk about this further as we go into the literature review, it was explained that good product design follows the use of design elements, shape, form, material, color, texture, and surface treatment, as well as decoration. And in order to deliver on this, based on research, product development not only involved critical analysis of these design theories, but practical, experimental, and collaborative work with local producers and artisans to understand their design process. So, looking at the literature review, the literature review focuses on the concept of product innovation as it relates to tableware. And here I looked at the major factors which contributed to the development of ceramic tableware and how it affects dining experiences. Modern production processes were also mentioned with focus on the current state of tableware and its production process within Trinidad and Tobago. So, if we look back in history for centuries, many years, it appeared that clay objects such as tableware, they were used to serve the needs of people and impacted people for many years. Pottery was the first to be created in the early 10,000 BC, and their work was influenced by and produced in China. Many designs reflected botanical drawings, some exquisitely painted in enamel with flowers, insects, and plants. And back then, dining was considered a privilege in civilization. In the mid 19th century, the size and the arrangement of the dining room, the quality of the plate, the quantity of food served, and the time at which one dined was considered to be social and economic scale of society. But today, innovation has continued to be the eternal topic of ceramic product design. And according to ELIS 2023, innovation in tableware, it refers to the development of new designs that can improve the dining experiences. According to research done by Shafi et al., product innovation comprised of three dimensions, which is value adding, where a firm or company adds value to a product by increasing customer satisfaction. And we see this a lot in small companies like the handicraft industries, as they must produce value added products to engage customers as well as retain old ones to achieve a greater market position. And product improvement, which refers to the improvement or the refinement of product with respect to physical characteristics as it goes into production. So we're looking at shape, color, aesthetics, again, some of the design elements that we will go into shortly. The third point that Shafi et al. 2023 made was product design innovation, where significant changes in product design or in design are made to handcrafted products, and they are created in line with consumer preferences to attract customers. Innovative design of ceramic products, again, from the perspective of, I'm looking at the perspective of design, functionality, shape, material. Innovation can meet the growing needs and spiritual needs of people. So the design elements that I will go into are namely function. We're going to look at function. Product function is very important to design. It's how the product is used by people, and most ceramic products, such as tableware, they are created with a single function, which does not meet the need for persons with increasing diversification. And it's suggested that it should be designed with the intent for multiple use, as I said, but it should not be too complicated in design, but rather easy to use and designed with a good cognitive function. So if you look at the photo, you would see that the designs of the cups is such that when people use it, it won't be easily confused, as there are distinguishable scales on the outskirts of the cup. Again, shape. Shape is an important feature in the design of the process of ceramics, as it is also included in model sketches right before the product is produced. And the right shape of the plate can enhance a meal that is prepared, as the site of the dish can be deemed as the site of the dish can the site of the dish can deem a success before it is even tasted. So thirdly, I want to look at form. When using clay to create a plate, you can eat of. There are 5 basic shapes that can be created: round, square, coupe, triangular, oblong. And I've included the coupe plate, a photo of the coupe plate there, where it's a flat plate with slight concave, which refers to as a flat bowl. So the minimalistic aesthetics of the coupe plate naturally helps to draw the attention to food on the plate, making it a star of the show. And the coupe plate design is more of a popular choice at the moment. Color. Based on research, the color of tableware has an impact on dining experiences. White is the preferred color for food and black for desserts. It was proven that the use of warm colors can improve appetite which can also aid in positive dining experiences. Texture and decoration. Texture is the surface quality of a particular material that can be felt by touch, and according to research, ceramic textures are still being innovated, but modern ceramics are known for their unique textures, and decorations can also be added. This can be achieved by the process of hand painting, engraving, and stencil. It uses materials such as colored clay, luster, and glaze to achieve this. And modern tableware patterns have changed. They have from complicated floral design to abstract brushstrokes and watercolor stains. The material selection is also important as it aids in to ensure integrity of design and prevent product from failing. According to research, there are three main types of ceramic material, earthenware, stoneware, porcelain. For the purpose of this project, we would look at earthenware. In Trinidad and Tobago, the raw material that I use to make tableware predominantly earthenware products. Earthenware material. It's an industrial produced white clay. And earthenware is the preferred choice of material as well, since for various reasons, lower cost, less energy consumption to produce, and it also can evoke an emotional connection with users as it relates to tradition and pottery. Cultural relevance. Trinidad and Tobago has a rich cultural heritage, which reflects the influence from African, Indian, Chinese, and European cultures. And Trinidad and Tobago, they have a culture of spicy foods, colorful festival, vibrant music, creative people, and beautiful beaches. So innovative tableware, it can be expression of local identity, which can enhance the dining experience for locals as well. Moving on. Next, I want to look at the traditional process, ceramic process that is used in Trinidad. Based on local research in Trinidad, there is a ceramic producing company called the Ceramic Place, and they use traditional processes such as wheel throwing, hand building, and slip casting to create ceramics. So wheel throwing, as you see a photo, it involves shaping the clay on a spinning wheel, and the potter centers the clay and uses hand movement to form symmetrical shapes. So this is ideal for making bowls, vases, cups. Hand building is also a technique that is used. It involves using your fingers and hands to shape the clay, and there are different ways in doing this, and it allows for more sculptural and varied form. The slip casting process is an industrial technique that is used to make multiple batches of ceramic plates, and it uses liquid clay called slip, which is then poured into a plaster. The plaster absorbs the water from the slip, allowing a layer of clay to form against the mold walls. And once the thickness is reached, the excess slip is drained and left. The excess slip is poured out, it's drained, the cast is left to harden, producing a detailed and replicable piece. This piece is then sent to the kiln to fire and heated. While some tableware products is usually made via the traditional methods like wheel throwing and hand building, tableware is usually molded locally using the process of slip casting. Now, today, modern ceramic manufacturing processes, ceramic industries create tableware through automation, innovation, digitalization, which involves highly automated processes over the art of making each piece by hand. So, for example, there's a company, SACME, the world leading innovative group for advanced ceramics. They offer the best in state of the art technologies where robots are used for more complex finishing operations. And here's a schematic of the steps that involve SACME's ceramic manufacturing production process. Body preparation, so similar to the slip casting process, but on a larger scale. Body preparation, it includes the preparation of raw materials such as clay, blended to create a consistent mixture. The mixture is then shaped into the desired form. This involves pressing or casting the material into molds to create greenware, which is an unfired raw product. It undergoes isostatic pressing next, where the powder is compacted uniformly in all directions using a flexible container and fluid, ensuring even density throughout the material. This follows isostatic pressure. Followed by isostatic pressing is pressure casting, which is also a form of where pressure is further applied to force the material into the exact contours of the mold to fill gaps and ensure a dense, high quality shape is a final shape is created with minimal defects. And once these forming processes are completed, the product then is then dried again and fired into a kiln. And these fired pieces, they undergo additional steps such as glazing through automation and decoration using state-of-the-art digital printing technology. Automation is a clear trend that in tableware market to increase quality, productivity, optimize costs, and speed up production. Another process that is being used currently is 3D printing or additive manufacturing, which involves a three-dimensional object layer by layer using a digital model. So here we have a sample of its process explained using that of Denby Pottery, a UK leading ceramic manufacturer who uses 3D printing in its design processes. And step one starts with design creation. A digital mold is created using a design software. Next, a ceramic paste or slurry is prepared and its mixture is fine-tuned for consistency so that it can be extruded and hold its shape, followed by the printing process. The printing process, the 3D printer will lay down the ceramic material in thin layers, and each layer is carefully deposited according to the digital design until the full object is built. And this again is a layer by layer process, so it lets the printer create intricate shapes and details that might be difficult to achieve with traditional molding. Once printing is complete, the object is dried, it is fired, and it is decorated. So, based on the literature review and the techniques that is available locally, the idea to develop a set of tableware was to combine traditional processing capabilities, the slip casting method in this case, with the application of modern design elements to achieve innovation. And the attempt was not only to design a product that is functional and beautiful, but also generates a positive effect on the user while interacting with the product which can in turn create a positive dining experience. And this set would have to be created at the local ceramic producing company, and collaborative work would be required along with local artisans. The concept for the new tableware collection should function as a set rather than a single item for multi-purpose use. Be modern in design, simple shape, solid color with subtle or little print, show cultural relevance, and make using ceramic material. So, two prototypes were created to show two possibilities for innovation in creating local tableware, and these were classified as Model A and Model B. So, Model A represented a tableware set which consisted of a dinner plate, side plate, a bowl, teacup, and a saucer. A sketch was created, followed by a 3D card rendering, which was used to show dimensions of the collection, and a mock up of the collection was done at the ceramic place in Trinidad. The technique that would be used to achieve decoration on tableware was firstly by hand painting the fired bisqueware with a white ceramic glaze that is food safe and non-toxic, followed by the application of a floral ceramic transfer or decal. And the inspiration for the additional design was to use just to represent floral and fauna, a part of the country's culture, and ideally the collection would have been named Trini Bloom Collection. Model B, this one represents a three-piece dinnerware set, which comprised of a bowl, a side plate, and a dinner plate, coupe-shaped design. Because from statistical data, the most preferred shape of plate is round, and since the target audience, they preferred or they expressed the need rather for differentiation and modernity. Emphasis was placed on the shape of the plate, that it should be designed as a coupe plate. The coupe plate, again, it strikes that balance between traditional and modern design and is associated with evolving trends in dining, where emphasis is placed on visual presentation and artistic plating. The intent here was to replace the traditional round shape plate with the coupe shaped design by using a coupe shaped plaster mold, and use various glazes to create variation in the design. So a sketch was created, followed by a 3D card rendering, which was used to provide dimensions for the collection. And the collection was created again through the process of slip casting at the ceramic place in Trinidad. A hand painting technique had to be introduced to the local artisans to create variation in design when glazing the tableware set. And this technique that would have been used was the double dipping or double glazing technique, which involved applying two different ceramic glazes to the ceramic plate, one to the top and the other to the bottom before firing. And the idea was to create a contrasting effect between the top and the bottom of each item, which could create visual interest and depth in design. And the application for this was done by using the brush technique to stroke and coat the ceramic body. The inspiration for this concept of color and texture for the collection came from one of the country's popular beaches, Maracas Bay. Maracas Bay is a popular beach located on the northern coast of Trinidad, and it is known for its beautiful scenery, teal color waters, and golden sand. So for this collection, a solid teal blue color glaze was used to represent the water. A teal color with specks of white was used to add texture. To represent the ocean waves, a solid white color was used. To represent the sand, a solid white color was used, and teal blue color was said to evoke a sense of tranquility and calmness. So just to show you a bit of an overview of the process at the local ceramic company here in Trinidad to create the prototypes. And here are the final prototypes. However, it's important to note that a full dinnerware set could not be completed for Model A due to the production costs, and an evaluation was done based on both designs and um, based on the design criteria through user feedback for both prototypes A and B, and Model B turned out to be the preferred choice by users. All right, so the objective of this study was to produce a collection of innovative tableware by integrating traditional production processes with modern design techniques to transform the dining experience within Trinidad and Tobago. And in conclusion, innovation had been achieved by applying design elements such as form, color, shape, functionality, material, and decoration using the traditional process of slip casting. Also, a collection of this sort, it had not been created, neither sold locally. But despite the success of achieving product innovation and receiving some satisfactory user feedback, there were several limitations within the project. The final product did not match that of industry standards. This may have been due to the process that was used, such as the slip casting process. It was a slow batch production, so the time it took to produce a set was much a longer period than it would have taken for a mass produced set. And the mold design, modern mold designs, I would say, they are limited locally. A mold design for a coupe shape plate were not used. Therefore, a mold with a similar shape had to be used. And when we talk about it was also the cost to produce this set was relatively high. Also, local artisans were not up to date with modern trends. So a recommendation was made for local manufacturing ceramic companies to collaborate and seek assistance even from local private sector companies and have the necessary communication with companies like SACME to offer turnkey systems to aid in the production of ceramic tableware, and also training for local artisans to be updated on trends such as modern design elements. Those should be made available. But regards to product quality, an observation was made where some users felt that the overall shape and form was not as seamless as that of industry standards, while others appreciated its unique character and distinct features that could only have been achieved through handcrafted techniques. So, due to these divergent perspectives, a recommendation was made to help satisfy both groups and to strike a balance. The challenge is and then was to find a way to bridge the gap by creating a product thoughtfully that highlights its handmade qualities while ensuring a refined, upscale, and posh finish. So, from research, it was discovered that the possibility to combine handcrafting techniques with digital fabrication method existed through the use of 3D printing. This approach allows to create products that fully capture unique qualities to an artistry of handcrafting while also ensuring a refined and polished finish. So, two emerging ceramic processes that helps with combining the traditional ceramic technique with cutting edge 3D printing technologies. It was firstly 3D printing ceramics. 3D printing ceramics, again, this enables the creation of intricate designs that may be difficult to achieve by hand. And it offers that creative freedom and precision, ensuring each piece is personalized. The design process can be crafted to evoke a handmade look. So designers can integrate textures and irregularities that celebrate artisan and craftsmanship while still benefiting from the precision of digital technology. So while the process allows for efficient production, meaning that products are produced at a larger scale, it can also create a boutique feel. And this process is also it's sort of described similar to that of a potter sculpting pottery on a wheel. A potter uses, in this case, a potter uses a 3D printer and sculpt a form in CAD, a computer aided design software, and prepare the 3D model for printing, setting the 3D printer speed and how much material should be extruded. These are some of the steps that involves. And the printer uses then a coiling method where the printer head again moving and extruding the clay layer by layer. And once the 3D print is finished, it's left to dry and sculpted or smooth, decorated, and kiln fired. So also in the world of ceramic, art innovation is continually reshaping traditional practices. And one of the ways it is doing so, it's in the use again of 3D printing, but in slip casting applications. And this technology is revolutionizing how pottery molds are created, making the process efficient and accessible. And traditionally, creating plaster molds for slip casting is a very labor intensive process. It requires a lot of skill, precision. Artists must carve their original model and then create a mold from it and ensure that every detail is captured. So this can be very time consuming. It can be very expensive, especially for complex designs. But the photo you see there of the prototype, it comes from a company called Matterforge, and they claim that it's a game changer for artists and manufacturers. What are some of the benefits is that these 3D printing, they can produce highly detailed, accurate molds. Again, it's one of the most significant advantages of 3D printing and subcasting. Artists can create that intricate pattern that and textures that is nearly impossible to create by hand, and it opens up new possibilities for creative expression and innovation in ceramic art. Also, this is particularly beneficial for small scale producers or those creating bespoke pieces. The process is faster as well. It's much more efficient than traditional mold making, reducing the time from concept to final product. So 3D printing allows for rapid prototyping, enabling artists to experiment with different designs, make adjustments quickly, and it's also cost effective. With the initial investment in a 3D printer, while the initial investment in a 3D printer can be significant, the long-term saving in time and material makes it a cost-effective solution. So from the image, you probably it's possibly that of a vase or some vessel, but I know you may be thinking, how can it be applied to tableware production? But based on my research, looking again at Denby pottery from earlier on, there was a study that was done where Denby pottery, they looked at using 3D printing to produce design concept models for tableware industry. The process they used employed 3D CAD and a Z-Corp printing machine to create models and serve similar purpose to molds used in some slip casting, and perform experiments to prove the possibility of producing industry quality tin section shapes through 3D printing. So these options, they are worth researching further, but these industrial types of processes, they can be expensive and require a lot of funding and resources. So in an effort to streamline innovation and foster creativity, I have been integrating product sketching, industrial design, and art into the early development stages. So in the interim, these are some of the practices that I am currently involved in, practicing and enhancing my skill in product sketching. As I said, primarily the start of any designing any product starts with the design process, and a key step is product sketching. And I see this as a necessary idea step to get my ideas out before going into CAD or looking at CAD or 3D modeling. So these are some of my product sketches from courses that I've recently completed. And on a light note, from sketching, I've found art to be a creative hobby that I like to do in my free time or whenever I travel. And more recently, in an effort to understand pattern and design, I have been freelancing digital art. So these are some pieces that I've drawn, again, based on my passion for brand and art, food, travel. And this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you all very much for your time. Thanks again for the lecturers at LSDM and all those who have assisted me in my project and all those of you who attended today. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. I mean, it's been an extremely insightful, extremely detailed presentation. I learned a lot about ceramics and about the manufacturing processes. You have been extremely detailed in this regard as always. And I have a feeling that every time I see a project, I mean, I just see upsides, more and more and more upsides. So I think it's a very good learning experience, your project, its concerns, its methodologies, the structure in which you present the narrative. These things are extremely important, and very well conducted in this regard. Before I get on to certain observations, is there anything any member of our audience would like to put in, for example, a query, a comment? Sarah is of the belief that this presentation should be made available all time as a mandatory for all students. So there's a lot of truth and validation in that. So yeah, absolutely. Um, Anyone else? Okay, your sources of inspiration. I think that's a very good query for contemporary designs that you use. What are your I mean, what motivates you? What defines your aesthetic sensibilities? How much Trinidad and Tobago has a hand in it? So yeah.
Yeah. Um, so much motivation in the past, over the past year after LSDM. I'm still just revisiting my thesis. I think that has been such an important part for me in my journey of like, where I am at currently. Um, it's been a challenging season. There are many times that I felt like giving it up, quitting, um, but I just kept going at it every day. I would just show up and sometimes not be able to fulfill the expectations of clients and family and friends and ultimately what my brand at that time, like at the moment, what it stands for. But as I said, I just kept going. I revisited my thesis and further my research. I think furthering the research has been like seeking answers for me. And I've just been searching, looking for commonality between the processes and applying the research in preparation for the future. So again, throughout this time, I've just kept faith, I've persevered through it all,
Okay.
and excited to see what the future
Yeah,
holds.
but yes, of course, absolutely. However, what has been your initial motivation, let's say, for ceramics? I mean, where does it derive from?
Where does ceramic?
Your interest in ceramics derived from?
Uh, it's fascinating. Really, I guess from tableware, looking at
Hmm.
tableware. So, and then the lack of not having products, so decor products, and so tableware. I think just not having that available to us has been so the motivation and the innovation to drive the design of it. So that has been.
Okay. All right. Any further queries? Do you focus on countries or markets due to their cultural habits? Or are your design ideas mostly applicable even internationally? So, which means, and I also wanted to um, um, have a word in this regard was how do you define your clients? I mean, are they Trinidad based? Are they international? Do you create your designs oriented at a certain target audience?
Yeah, I am currently looking at again, the brand is evolving, and I'm looking at expanding my client base and working through um, models in which I can do so. So for via social media platforms, or so I'm just expanding.
But do you think ever since you've launched Posh Designs by Tracy, your clientele has changed or has it remained the same?
It has remained the same, but I think I just have a lot of more work to do to,
Okay.
increase and build the brand.
Yeah, and there was one part of your presentation which I thought was very interesting. It was where you were talking about uniformity and how mass-produced ceramics they are extremely uniform, and that's one of the challenges for you is to
Yeah,
ensure uniformity.
yeah,
But I don't know, somehow, I mean, it's my intuitive sense that, I would rather find value in something which is not uniform than something that
yeah,
is uniform,
yeah,
and because that's a unique piece, and
yeah,
the part is that it's made by a person and not well,
yeah,
a significant part of it is made by a person,
yeah,
and there's an artisanal aspect to it, and also the fact that um, you get this kind of mass-produced ceramic pieces everywhere, anywhere in the world, the white plates. What
yeah.
you don't get is a an authentic. It's
A
produced
unique,
in
handmade.
territory, sort of yeah. I mean, hand processed piece of ceramic, which is exclusive, and its contours are exclusive because there's no other piece which exists like that because
Yeah,
of these errors. And I think the errors would be something to embrace, which I intuitively feel.
yeah. And that's again looking at my research. There were two groups of people, those that preferred the handcrafted, and then those that once um, a more modern approach or more streamlined finish and trying to bridge that gap is one, and also offering, like you said, handcrafted pieces. That has also something that I'm looking at in my research as well.
Okay, and I personally think that there are two market segments, two different market segments.
Two different market segments.
Yes, exactly. Because if you think about the context in which you're producing these, and that's where I was talking about upsides. The context in which you're producing these materials is unique. And the thing is that it has territorial value. You're using the soil from, for example, from from this place. It has an industry, but it's not a mass producing industry. It still has its specificities, its characteristics,
Yeah.
some
Very
quirks of
unique.
nature. Very unique, exactly.
Mhm.
And just like the lemon which you showed, it has it has its place in the cultural discourses
Yeah.
surrounding Trinidad and Tobago. And
Yeah.
the thing is that, and there are a lot of other examples wherein localized ceramic production has been able to create its own niche. And I think that's where this project and your project and the pieces which you have created very firmly lie within is this kind of niche production niche which imbibes, which embraces territorial values. Of course, you as a person, you're bringing in your experience, you're bringing in your interpretation of the culture. You're bringing in your interpretation of dining.
Yeah.
And one thing which I would like to add as a final statement is that as uh, as economies, we are moving in a different direction. We are moving in a different paradigm. Let's say, we were, for example, and all over the world, not only in Europe or not only in the Caribbean. We were we had a product based economic system, production, product based economic system. Then we moved
Okay.
on to
Yeah.
service based economic system.
Mhm.
So now we are moving towards economic systems that are more knowledge based, that are more experience based.
Okay.
So the
Yeah.
experience of having Trinidadian um, how do I say gastronomic experience
Mhm.
on these kinds of unique
Yeah.
pieces. I think it makes a lot of sense in that regard, in terms of
Yeah.
giving a unique experience, and that's the reason why people are flocking to some remote islands in the Arctic to have food served to them on fossils,
Yeah.
like
I
fossilized
see that.
rocks, or even on top of antlers and stuff like that. So it's a part of that experience, and I think there is a lot that can be explored and positively in this regard from your project. And I think it's a great learning experience for us and for our community. And we thank you so much for presenting this part of your life.
Yes, thank you. And thank you. It's been a pleasure. And thank you all for having me here on today. Thanks.
Okay, so if anybody else has anything to say or add, otherwise we can close this presentation. And of course, the recording of this presentation will be made available afterwards. And if you want or if anybody has any queries, they can put in their questions or comments in the comment section of that video. Yeah. So thank you all. Thank you, Tracy, for joining in. And we look forward to seeing more amazing stuff from Posh by Design.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.